I had an office in my basement and a workshop in my basement at home. The machine is a scaled down version of what I actually designed when I was with Monsanto. So I decided that I'd like to do some thermoforming on my own and had a machine shop make up some parts for me. So I welded up the base of the machine and assembled the whole thing and put it together. Made several different sizes of this and went out and tried to sell them. Well, I didn't have any sales experience at all. Selling for me was not easy. I'd never sold anything before in my life, so other than myself to get a job.
I'd taken a class in high school in accounting, so I did all the bookkeeping, which wasn't much because there wasn't much money coming in.
It was a team. I definitely counted on her for her financial judgment. Nancy and I were kicking ideas around. She was actually the one that came up with it, and her idea was plastic container.
And to Tom, it means plastic conversion, but it was my name, and so I'm sticking with the plastic container.
I saw no reason why you couldn't have an inline machine where you'd be thermoforming, trimming, and stacking the parts, all as a continuous process. So I spent probably a couple of months drawing this new machine out, and I looked in a magazine and there was a machine made by Brown Machine Company in Beaverton, Michigan that looked very much like what I had on paper. So I bought their very first machine, and that machine revolutionized the industry.
Tom wanted me to come in and make patterns and molds and do that kind of work. During the interview, I called my wife and I explained the situation to her, and she says, well, if you want to do it, go ahead, it's okay. So I said, sure, okay, I'll do it. Being the first employee, of course, I'd also run the machines and grind scrap and make parts and do everything that was involved in a thermoforming plant. He had one machine at that time over on Stewart Street.
And at that point, I was running pretty low on money. Actually, I was running out. So I came back with a very nice order. It was a catering tray for a local company, Gaylord Catering. So I told Nancy, I said, well, we have to buy some more plastic. We've got to buy, I don't know if it was like $5,000 worth of plastic. She said, no way.
If we don't have money, you can't buy plastic, because we just don't have enough money. And he would say, well, Nancy, if we don't buy the plastic, we can't make the parts. So yeah, I did get over that.
Ran the first production order, and that was the beginning. At that time, we were renting, and we outgrew that, so we had to rent a neighboring, another unit that was next to that. And at that point, I started shopping around for some land. Was really lucky to buy this parcel of land, and we built a 6,000 square foot building here.
The company was going very, very nicely during those days. I could see his vision in the early days. Tom was working on a sketch in his office. He's the inventor of the blister box.
The blister box is something that came across very well for us. So we were able to convince him that this was our idea, and we got a patent on it.
We were known as a company that could do the impossible. If somebody else couldn't do it, they'd bring something in and they'd say, well, what do you think? Can we do this? And if I said yes, we do it.
I was over at the Stewart Street location before we moved over here. We only had about 10 people working here, so pretty close-knit.
I've been kicking around the production area for almost 36 years. Being a professional machine operator, you take your job pretty seriously because the things that you produce are the things that people use, and you take some pride in it. And then a lot of the products were showing up in the stores, and I'd go there and I'd be like the Charmin guy. I'd be squeezing on them and doing the things I do here to see if they were good.
This room here, it was only half of it was the shop. The other half was the maintenance department. And then it's just kind of grown, it's really kind of taken off. There was a time when I first started where The cement hadn't completely dried yet on a new addition, and another addition was starting. Not a lot of people get to say that they're in a company that's continually looking to grow and continually looking to expand. And so it's always been that way. You don't get bored. You don't get bored, that's for sure.
I think the stuff that we do here with thermoform plastic, I'm just amazed at it all the time, every day. I'm amazed. I worked with my brother for 17 years in the tool room, and my son works in maintenance. He said everything good that's ever happened to me in my life happened at Placon for the most part. I mean, I got married, I bought my house, had my children, and I think about that, how great that was. But then, I've had a few bad things happen, a little tragedy, and you know what? Placon was there for me every step of the way.
My dad gave me some advice. He goes, get into food because people always need to eat. And if you get into packaging, people will always be buying things. And so this was a packaging company. It worked. And when I started, we did not only the tool design, the product design, we were the process engineers. We make things that go unnoticed, but just work. Nobody knows why, nobody cares. It just works.
This was the main office at this point in time, so everybody was walking in and out. Don and I would go out on the front porch of what was then the front office, the only office, and we would just brainstorm ideas out there. We would develop procedures, we would conceptualize designs. The growth over the years has really been exciting, and I think that's what's kept a lot of people here, is just that it continues to challenge us. It's something new all the time.
I always looked up to my father, and in many regards I wanted to do what he was doing. So the day I became the CEO was a very happy day for me, as I felt that I fulfilled one of the things that one of my heroes did, and that's my father. So I always wanted to work with the company. I didn't know where or how I would start, but I did want to lead it at one day. Our vision is to be a leader in the packaging industry and to grow strategically. So we've acquired a company in West Springfield, Massachusetts, also in Elkhart, Indiana. You see the physical signs of growth, more buildings, more machines, bigger teams. But what's really neat is to see us in the marketplace, to see us at trade shows and to represent the industry, to lead in many regards. We've always tried to do things better, and that legacy is something we can bring into the future. Always try and design something better.
Welcome to Placon.
Being able to come in here and see other people at Placon thriving as a result of the work that he's doing just makes me smile all over. What I'm really most proud of is the people here at Placon. They understand that their role here is to provide value and quality for our customers, and they're doing it day after day. How you get from a small shop to this is it's almost like a miracle.